Okay, so doing two videos this week because I had all the video I needed to put together for the my last week, but then I didn't actually do it because I let myself be distracted by everything. This week I wanted to talk a little bit about writing because I received some advice from a published author. He said, write 100 words a day. In a year, you'll have a 400-page book. Then you can worry about editing. Good advice. I do want to finish it faster, so hopefully I do more than 100 words a day. But I think the idea here is to make the writing a habit. So if I write 100 words a day, I'll get into the habit of writing every day, except the days I physically can't for whatever reason. But the idea is I will get into the habit of continuing to do the writing and not the editing. You wait until you're done, and hopefully I'll get a book done finally. But I've heard plenty of advice from different sources about writing. One thing I read once, and this was online, so everything online take it with a grain of salt, but there was something that said every sentence should only move the story forward. And I disagree. But this is because I've read books like Discworld and Xanth and, some of the sillier things. But then you also have other books. Every sentence doesn't need to move the story forward, but sentences should flow. It's okay to take a break out from moving the story forward and moving along something else or explaining something. If you read the Discworld novels, there's explanations that don't really mean anything in the grandness of the books. In the book Equal Rights, it stops and explains seeing in 4 dimensions because there's a character that's dead. It also, that author, he tends to write sometimes in a wibbly-wobbly sense. So not everything is actually important, but it adds to the setting of the world. It's like explaining about why the librarian that got turned into an orangutan doesn't mind staying an orangutan and getting changed back. Because it's like, otherwise, if they have all this magic, why don't they change him back? And see, that's not important to the flow of the story, but it's a question. It's like, okay, there's a librarian that's an orangutan, and you could have just, you can leave it like that, and because, it won't flow the story if I explain anything about this librarian. But we're left with the question, why is there a librarian orangutan? So, obviously, not every sentence needs to flow the story completely. Not every sentence needs to be... what's a good way to put it? Not every sentence needs to be direly important. You shouldn't have a sentence that says nothing. Every sentence obviously should be about something. And it should always pertain to your story itself. I mean, you don't want to have sentences that have nothing to do with your story at all. But it should always flow. And of course, the rule with paragraphs is, try to... If you're changing the idea, you start a new paragraph. Just like if you're changing who's speaking, you start a new paragraph. Trying to think if there's anything else writing-wise I know. I was told, another author did tell me, write a little bit each day. That was one of the words from Eric Wujek, who he passed away a couple of years back. Good guy. Yeah, he did kind of look like a wizard. One of those wizard beards. Um, I've actually gotten to meet a number of authors, including the author of The Last Unicorn. He was a guest several times at Otacon. First year he was there, he was like a last minute guest. And when I was in line waiting for him, a group walked up that were all three in costume, a Last Unicorn cosplays, and they were like, and I let them go ahead of me, and they're like, "Yeah, we had these costumes ready, and we didn't even know you were a guest." So once we found out, it was like, "Oh my goodness." That was great to see. Any other authors I've met? I mean, you obviously, Margaret, you know some of the authors I've met because you've met them too, and some will respect more than others. But no, most of the other authors I know are generally webcomic authors. There's one that she does comics and novels, and most of the authors I actually know are webcomicers. Which I wish I could do, but I can't. I can't pound out drawing pages like that. Anyways, I actually got to go, so I'll leave it off for there. See you next time, Margaret.